Okay, welcome back to the series. Now I am going to start the animation part of this text expander animator component. So we need two classes to do that. In fact, not two classes, three classes to do that. One to store the text and and to coordinate the animation, and the other two are one is the state class which will control how it is animated, and another is animator which will have the logic for implementing the animation in the DOM or in the browser. Now I'll start with the state class. I'll define everything before this custom element thing, for the definition of the web component. So generally, if you are animating something, it will change from one state to another, or we can say it will change from 0 to 1, and the value from 0 to 1, like 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, is called interpolation, and the animation is represented by the state animation is represented by those values. So basically, my animation will consist of two parts. One is that it will rotate and scale up, and the other it will expand to numerous to numerous text, to multiple text component of the having the same text content. And you can say like it will repeat itself into five or six uh, of it. It will repeat. It will there will be five or six flows for the same text. Okay. Uh, Now let's start coding the state part. So it will have a constructor, and it will have something called scales, which will contain the value of the state, like which will be represented from 0 to 1, having the values of 0, 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 till 1. So since I have two parts, so I have taken two values. Another is the index of the animation, of the scales, the index for the scales array. It will indicate the current element of that scales array which is animated, or the current animation. Another is the previous scale object. So sometimes my value may exceed 1, so I need some controller to, so that I can set the value according to the previous value. And another is direction or div variable, which will indicate the start and the start of the animation, and also like when I am stopping the animation, it will also, you have to change its value. So it is like a kind of indicator for the start and stop of the animation. So let me resume another with another music. Hmm, so I am using NCS music to play some music, and it is so it is a very good app which will have lot of no credit music. So generally you shouldn't you shouldn't use music of certified artists, or they may in your videos, so they may charge you for it. They may have some case for, they may also file a case against you. So it is better to use some non-credit music in your video. So it is taking some time to download and play. Till that time, let me go code my state class. So update will take a callback stop CB, which will be called when the update method is complete. So now we will increment the current value of will increment the value at j of the scales array. So in Java, JavaScript, you have to use this at every point. In Java, you don't have to use that. So direction will control, the div variable will control start and stop the animation, as well as the direction, uh, the reversal and reversal of the animation also, like the direction of the animation from 0 to 1 and from 1 to 0 it will control. So this the scale updating the scale will be complete when it is greater than 1, like it is equal to 1, but equal to 1 may not be the right way, may not give you proper animated value. Something greater than 1 may give you. So I will just say if mat.abs, the absolute value of this dot scales minus this dot previous scale is greater than 1, then will complete the uh, will complete updating the current uh, the scale the current value in the scales array, which is indicated by this dot j. Now why I have taken the absolute value is since we are considering we are updating the value from 0 to 1 as well 1 to 0. So sometimes when it is greater than 1, then we are talking updating the variable, and when in reverse direction when it is less than 0, then we are stopping updating the value. So that's why we have used mat.abs. So I'm not sure what is happening with the music, or, or I can just play some YouTube videos or something from YouTube. Let me try different videos, or I can play some other music also, because I need music to concentrate while I'm coding. So when we have completed updating the current value in the scales array, then we have to increment this j index. Say we'll increment by this dot there. So why use this dot there is we are updating from the we are updating the this dot j has to 0 for 0. We are considering 0th index as well as first index, and if there is more values in the this dot scales, we are considering those values also, and also in the reverse direction from, like, if the scale size of n elements, then we are also considering from n to 0, or like n minus 1 to 0. So now we'll check, and also let's update, like keep it update, keep this uh, let's set the value, like let's set the previous value of this dot scales at z index to be something equal to 1 or 0. Say this dot j, this dot scale plus this dot j. So the current value of this dot scales 0 or 1 will be 1, or some 1.1 or 0 minus 0.1, but we want either 1 or 0, so that's why we are doing this. Now I will say this dot we have to reverse the animation. To do that, we have to do something like this. If this dot j is equal to this dot scales dot length, if j value is greater than the j is pointing to the to some element which is outside the array, then that is not a valid index. So or it can be when it is equal to the length of the scales array, or it can be when it is equal to it is equal to -1. So then we have to reverse the animation. So what we can do have to do is we have to just decrease the value of j if it's like is equal to the schedule length, or increase the value of j when it is -1. So better is to the better way to do is just do this dot j minus equal to this dot j. Now I will set this dot z equal to 0, or say this dot z equal to -1. I will complete the animation in one shot. The reverse, and once it reaches the once it's animated to a certain point, we want to reverse the animation. This dot play scale, like we have to also update the value of previous scale. It will be equal to the value of the um, anything which is present in the jth index at that time. any value of skills which is present in the jth index. And so these are some basic steps to do. And if this dot j equal to 0, we will stop the animation. We'll say this dot j is equal to 0 and stop cb. Okay, now we need something to start the animation. Let me see which is the we need something to start updating the values. So it will take a start cb, which will call when we are just starting updating the values. So we say it is equal to 1. So let me just take a pause for 1 second. Okay, back. So I will just say if this dot is equal to 0, then only start updating the value, start updating the values, and we'll set the day equal to 1 and we'll call start cp. So this is basically to start animation. I'll add this to get because it's better to I'll share the URL at the end of the video so that you can reference the code, you can refer the code. Now I will add state class. After this I'll define animator class. Uh, like state will have a constructor. Now we'll define some variables for constructor. Yeah, the name is right, the spelling is right. Now we set have a variable called animator to indicate whether it is the animation has started or not. I'll have some method called start to start the animation. It will take a callback to update something. I'll have a method called stop, which is to stop the animation. So it will start only if the animated value is false. So we'll indicate in JavaScript in this manner. So I just for a minute what I've done. So I have created an animator class which has variable which is a variable called false. Is for its default value is false and it is called animated. Now I'll start the animation when the animated is false, and I will create a loop. I'll give an interval loop or a timer, whatever you feel, by using the method set interval, and it is present in window. So it is present here as set interval. So set interval will take a method and time. I'll say 50 milliseconds. I want it to be quite fast. I will pass the update cb method here to update something. Now I'll set this at this dot interval. It will return an interval id which we can use later to stop the loop. So I'm looking. So it can be is to stop the interval loop, and so we are going to stop the animation in stop method. It will only stop the animation if this dot animated is true. So what we are going to do is we are going to set this dot animated as false, so we can restart the animation, and we will clear the interval, or we will clear the loop, or we'll stop the loop. To do that, we have to use clear interval method. Okay, so now we have animator class. We are going to add this to git. So now so we have created two classes, state class and animator class. So these are the two things which will help us in animating our component. I'm going to start writing the code for the text expander class, which will contain the text and all the logic to animate, and to animate its state, and how it communicates with the component. So I will do it in the next video, and thanks for patiently listening watching this video, and do subscribe to the channel. Have a nice day.